He bought me ice cream, he bought me cake, he brought me home with the bellyache. Mama, mama, I'm so sick. Call the doctor, quick, quick, quick. Doctor, doctor, will I die? Just close your eyes and count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm alive.
And you can tell me, is the mic in the way? Everyone wants a happy childhood, but when something goes wrong in a family, it is often the children who suffer most. Children are forced to grow up quick and deal with the seemingly adult problems of drug abuse, neglect, sexual abuse, violence, and death. But what happens when it's too much for a child to live with, or when there are no parents to care for them? There are about 51,000 children in the New York City foster care system. Of them, 59% are African American, 16% are Latin American, 3% are white, and the remaining 21% are of mixed or unknown ethnicities. You are about to meet some of these young people who share their experiences about growing up in the foster care system.
You have people that care, I'll try to say care, and my mother had a lot of problems and she wasn't able to take care of me the proper way. And now I have someone who's doing that for me.
My mother was, she wasn't doing what she was supposed to do. Like, she would go out whenever she wants. She'd leave me home with my brothers. And what happened was, the way I ended up was, one day she left the house and she just, like, she said she had to go out. And what happened was that she got sick. So when I was with the babysitter had to call BCW and they put me in foster home for like a few months. Then when she got better, I got back. So it was like the runaround. I was going back and forth, back and forth. That's the way I started until I ended up in a permanent house.
I came in the system August 28th, 1992. And the reason I came in the system because I was a neglect case.
There are 3 basic ways of entering the foster care system. The first, the parent can voluntarily place a child. The second, the Bureau of Child Welfare can remove a child who is being abused or neglected. And the third, the court can file a PENS petition, which is a person in need of supervision.
Basically, that's what it is. It's a system that they just place you in a system and let you sit there. The system is an uncaring place. That's why we call it the system.
You take a gamble with your life when you're going in foster care because you don't really know what family you're going into, because they don't really do any background check, and that's another bad thing about the system, is that they just place you anywhere and you're taking a chance, because many of times you come out of a negative situation and you go into a much more worse one.
Fortunately, there are foster parents who care for kids. We've met Gladys Johnson and Kathleen Johnson, 2 wonderful foster parents who have a lot of love in their hearts for the children that they care for.
In my house, everybody blends in, and I actually forget who are foster children. And I do that purposely because I don't want the children to feel left out, or I want them, they are my family. I usually take boys only, and they usually give me the toughest boys they have. I love boys. I love girls too, not separating one from the other. But I feel that I had more to offer boys because they were the ones that everybody turned their backs on faster.
In some situations, the foster parents were not like my foster mother. They just doing it for the money, so there's no feeling there, so you'll never feel comfortable there. And that's mostly the way it is in this system. But I was fortunate enough to meet someone that made me feel at home. So it depends on where you're at, but it's mostly about trust.
Many teenagers are traveling through the maze called the foster care system without knowing their rights. It is now time for you, the youth, to take initiative and learn your rights so that you're not left in the blind with misinformation. There are many things that you need to know about lawyers, about disciplinary actions, home choices, and even money. So listen up, because this is especially for you. there's a lot of rights that what rights a young person does have often depends on what their goal is. And every young person who's in the foster care system has a goal, and that's either to return to their own family, to be adopted by another family, to be discharged to another relative, or to be discharged to their own, to independent living. And whatever their goal is, whatever their plan is for them, there's a set of rights that comes out of that. Like young people.
For years, children in the New York City foster care system have been surviving despite the odds. One of the means in which they communicate with each other and everyone else is the Foster Care Youth United newspaper. This newspaper has enabled them to grow off their strength and strengthen their weaknesses.
Oh, writing for Foster Care Youth United has helped me out a lot because it's helped me understand myself better. It's opened up a lot of doors, a lot of stuff that I thought I forgot about, that I did forget about until I started writing. It just lets people know that other people are going through a lot of the same changes and the same problems that they are. And it lets people know who aren't in foster care that we're people too, because many a times, you know, they be like, don't worry, you're in a group home, and you know, they have their stereotypes. I had mine too. And it's good because it lets other people know that, you know, we're going through a lot and we're people. We're human.